brothers and sisters, fallen angels within the English Empire known as America. It is I, your brother Deonde Belmont from the illustrious Noble House of Belmont. Today is February 9th, 2026, which is equivalent to the 2976 Berber calendar. And here, like I like to say always, it's a beautiful time to be alive. I have to give honor to the Creator, to our forebears, foremother, forefathers, our kings, queens, saints, martyrs, as well as the good people within the realm. And today I want to bring to you, brothers and sisters, this article coming from the University of Zurich, written by Sister Barbara Simpson. And I'm not going to interject too much within it. I'll probably leave my response at the end of the article. But ultimately, want you, brothers and sisters, to leave your comments as well, because this is to pretty much show you what's taking place historically in the biblical times is actually still happening today in regards to us humans being so far out of touch with nature. And we know within nature, there the Creator dwells. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. Humans are evolved for nature, not cities, says anthropologists. A new paper by evolutionary anthropologists Colin Shaw, University of Zurich, and Daniel Longman, Loughborough University, argues that modern life has outpaced human evolution. The study suggests that chronic stress and many modern health issues are the result of an evolutionary mismatch between our primarily nature-adapted biology and the industrialized environments we now inhabit. The paper is published in the journal Biological Reviews. Over hundreds of thousands of years, humans adapted to the demands of hunter-gatherer life, high mobility, intermittent stress, and close interaction with natural surroundings. Industrialization, by contrast, has transformed the human environment in only a few centuries by introducing noise, air, and light pollution, microplastics, pesticides, constant sensory stimulation, artificial light, processed foods, and sedentary lifestyles. In our ancestral environments, we were well adapted to deal with acute stress, to evade or confront predators, explains Colin Shaw, who leads the Human Evolutionary Ecophysiology Research Group together with Daniel Longman. The lion would come around and occasionally, and you had to be ready to defend yourself or run. The key is that the lion goes away again. Today's stressors, traffic, work demands, social media, and noise, to name just a few, trigger the same biological systems, but without resolution or recovery. Our body reacts as though all these stressors were lions, says Longman. Whether it's a difficult discussion with your boss or traffic noise, your stress response system is still the same, as if you were facing lion after lion. As a result, you will have a very powerful response from your nervous system, but no recovery. Health and reproduction under pressure. In their review, Shaw and Longman synthesized evidence suggesting that industrialization and urbanization are undermining human evolutionary fitness. From an evolutionary standpoint, the success of a species depends on survival and reproduction. According to the authors, both have been adversely affected since the Industrial Revolution. They point to declining global fertility rates and rising levels of chronic inflammatory conditions, such as autoimmune diseases, as signs that industrial environments are taking a biological toll. There's a paradox where, on one hand, we've created tremendous wealth, comfort, and health care for a lot of people on the planet, Shaw says. But on the other hand, some of these industrial achievements are having detrimental effects on our immune, cognitive, physical, and reproductive functions. One well-documented example is the global decline in sperm count and motility observed since the 1950s, which Shaw links to the environmental factors. This is believed to be tied to pesticides and herbicides in food, but also to microplastics, he notes. Designing environments for well-being. Given the pace of technological and environmental change, biological evolution cannot keep up. Biological adaptation is very slow. Longer-term genetic adaptations are multi-generational, tens to hundreds of thousands of years, Shaw says. This means the mismatch between our evolved physiology and modern conditions is unlikely to resolve itself naturally. Instead, the researchers argue societies need to mitigate these effects by rethinking their relationships with nature and designing healthier, more sustainable environments. According to Shaw, addressing the mismatch requires both cultural and environmental solutions. One approach is to fundamentally rethink our relationship with nature, treating it as a key health factor in protecting or regenerating spaces that resemble those from our hunter gatherer past, he says. Another is to design healthier, more resilient cities that take human physiology into account. Our research can identify which stimuli most affect blood pressure, heart rate, or immune function. For example, and pass that knowledge on to decision makers, Shaw explains. We need to get our cities right and at the same time regenerate value and spend more time in natural places, in natural spaces. And once again, this is coming from the University of Zurich, and my response to this is, brothers and sisters, as we can see, the human beings, we have come far and wide in regards to our technological advancement here on the planet itself. But with those advances comes consequences, and those consequences are detrimental when it comes down to the human physiology. Even our natural biochemistry is completely off because of what we have introduced into our reality based off of the so-called advancement of man. And based off this article alone, it's showing you that we have pretty much outpaced our biological functions in regards to all of the creations that we have created, going all the way back at least since the 1950s, and we can at least say going to the industrialization age. So these things are affecting us, and it's affecting us to the point that we're not going to be able to procreate any longer. As you can see from what they spoke in regards to the sperm motility, we can see that testosterone has dropped or plummeted tremendously within men. The birth rate is pretty much getting to the point of non-existence in many different demographics. All of these things are because of our so-called advancement in the humans' creation, or humans' search for a better way to exist. And if we don't do anything or do something about it, we will no longer exist. So some of the options that they gave were, for instance, we need to start making our cities more adapted in regards to what the human being needs the most, and to make sure that we're functioning in a healthy fashion. So, in my opinion, anything that we have that we created in regards to technology that we see is causing some type of overstimulus in regards to the human body, like it's causing us to have pseudo illnesses and things of that nature, we need to go back to the drawing board and question it. Do we actually really need it? The things that's causing us to have high blood sugar unbeknownst to us, or causing us to, have mental relapse, or not having the ability to maintain information within our own brain. These are things that we need to pay attention and see what's causing us to not only have these problems, but the things that we created, do we actually truly need it? And if we had brought ourselves to the point of actually needing these things, we need to go back to the drawing board and find other ways of doing it. Because if we don't, once again, brothers and sisters, nature will exist, but we will cease to exist. And with that being said, I love you. Please like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Think on these topics, brothers and sisters, because we are right now having our back against the wall in regards to what's going on in the future. And the land, or the people themselves, are predicated on how the land health is. So if the land is healthy, we're healthy. But if the land is sick, we're sick. And right now, we all are feeling the effects of the illnesses because the consequences of our actions. So catch me on the flip side. I love you. Peace. I'm out.